Retreat.
All right, guys, we are back for the second part of today's podcast, Monday, November 28th. And I'm your host, as always, Adam Martin, and joined by my co-host here, Big Marcel. We just previewed UFC Orlando, went out over all 15 fights. So if you missed that, definitely go back and watch that show. We're going to recap PFL today. We're going to go over UFC news and fight announcements. You have a good question here to start off, though, Marcel. We'll start off with a question from Matthias. What is your guys' process of breaking down a fight and studying tape? I like to hear Marcel's first, and then I'll kind of go over the way I kind of break down the fights. But you can go ahead, Marcel. You start.
Just watching. For me, it's kind of simple, man. I'm watching the fights. I look what I think is good from the one guy, and I look what's not so good from one guy, and you're gonna kind of match it with each other. You gotta look pretty much what's the pros and cons. You know what I mean? It's pretty much that, and it's also kind of, listen, man, there are a lot of factual stuff you can find, but there's also kind of not factual stuff that you think, is going to happen, because like I always say, man, it's MMA and every fight is different. It can be so clear for one guy or one girl to win that fight, or you think this guy gonna win or that guy gonna win,
Yeah.
and then it's completely different, than you expect in the fight. So it's not like it's like a factual thing what you do, but listen, man, we got to be honest. If we didn't do our research, we wouldn't probably have good picks 9 out of 10 times. So you got to. It's not. This is not a sport you can always pick the favorite. You got to pick the favorite many times. Because they're obviously a favorite for a reason.
Yep.
But sometimes, like Adam says in the last podcast, we have always pretty much a consensus underdog, and it pays 9 out of 10 times. So. Yeah, I think we do good research. I think Adam does it even better than I do. So that's how I feel about it. But yeah, that's how I pretty much do it. That's my my story about it. I
No,
must be
I
honest.
appreciate that. I mean, we're pretty close. We do like MMAOSBreaker.com, by the way, has we've been keeping standings all year. I want to say that I'm like third or fourth right now out of the 10 guys on the staff. I think you're right behind me. It's not like, there's a huge spread. I will say, though, I got to give Mike's and May picks and Brian credit, because they're like 10 picks ahead of us, I want to say. So those guys have been doing an even better job than we have. But we're
Brian,
we're doing
crazy,
pretty
right?
good. Brian's been good
last year as well.
Yeah, he's good at picking fights. There's no doubt. I talked, actually. Here's the thing. Like, a lot of people have like an ego about like just betting and stuff. I don't really have that. Like I'm always trying to get better, because you can always get better every day. So I remember asking Brian. I was like, because I think this was, I want to say it was last year, because at the end of last year it just tanked for me. And I want to say, like, honestly, my focus wasn't 100% there last year, because I had newborn child and stuff, so I wasn't able to do as much studying and stuff. But I was like starting to overthink it and pick a lot of underdogs on cards. And occasionally there are cards where like, a bunch of dogs will win, but in general, it's only a few of them. So I think, you kind of got to use the odds to your advantage in a way, because like Marcel said, majority of the favorites do win, right? Like 66%, I want to say. So like 2/3. But there's still those 1/3 of fights where there's an underdog winning, right? So that's interesting. As far as like the question, getting back to the question, because I like the question, breaking down the fight and studying tape. So the thing is, like, this is what I do. Like, I've been doing this for 12 years, right? So MMA, I should say. I have a pretty good understanding of the fighters, like their styles, etc. But that doesn't mean that they're going to win the fight. It doesn't mean I'll be right. So I always try to, like, definitely look at who has the advantages and the disadvantages. But especially because it's MMA, you want to look at who has the grappling advantage, I think, most of all, because if you can control where the fight takes place, you most likely will win the fight or have a better chance to win it. Doesn't mean you won't get knocked out, because you can, right? But you'll have a better chance to win it. So I think that's important. The style matchup, that's super important. As far as like tape goes, I only watch tape on guys that I've never seen fight before. So like in the UFC, generally I'm not going to go back and watch unless I've never seen the guy fight. So, on this card, I've seen everyone fight. I know how they all fight. But there are occasionally like a UFC newcomer, where I'll look back at their previous fights. They'll do a tape study. I'll look at their striking, their grappling. But even for fighters in the UFC, like sometimes the fight's really tricky. Well, I'll have to go back and look at some stuff. I think it's all important, man. And not only that, like I think at the end of the day, like betting's hard, and you're not going to get all your picks right. But if you can eliminate the landmines, that's why I like to say, Marcel, eliminate the ones where you're like, man, I'm not sure about this one. Like, don't bet at that. You don't have to. Just go with the ones where you're confident. And that's something that's tripped me up over the years, because sometimes I'll be like, oh man, the odds on this guy are really good, but like, do I think he'll win? I don't know, but the odds are good. Maybe that's just a pass, you know? So yeah, I mean, every fight's different too. It's a really good question. I really like the question, but I think, you know, for me, like experience, Marcel, just knowing like that styles do make fights, and the odds do matter, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. It's not like I'm just like, okay, this guy wins. Like I'm looking at all the different things: height, reach, age. Those are huge for me. How the guy looked in his last fight, how long he's like hasn't fought in, what camp is he at. There's a lot of stuff, Marcel. There's so much. That's what I love about the sport. And the cool thing is, it's not like football where there's 53 guys in the team. It's one-on-one here, right? So you can kind of eliminate some other things, but you know, one-on-one it's still not easy, even though it's one-on-one. Anyways, that's my answer. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Let's go to some comments. Why wasn't Shoeface part of the PFL? I thought he got injured. He got injured, I think. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. What's up, man? How's it going? Guys, what's up, Marcus? We're gonna talk about Kayla in a second. That was a huge surprise though for me. Massive. We're gonna go to PFL in 1 sec. I do want to get these last couple comments. Hey John, what's up? I didn't see LFA, but I believe there was a few upsets, if I'm not mistaken, right? Pretty sure there was, which is crazy. No problem, Matthias. Glad to have the answer. He asked, do you guys take a fighter's outside the cage lifestyle recent drama into consideration? I think you have to, but it's so hard sometimes because like you never know. Like really, that's the thing. That's the other thing. Like I'll tell you right now, Marcel. Like again, I talked about a football team as an example, right? You know, like or soccer, okay, or football as you call it, right? There's 11 guys in the pitch, right? Right. One guy could be sick and having a bad day, but the other guys could still pick him up and they could still win.
Yeah.
In MMA, if you're like sick or having a bad day, you're probably going to lose. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and bro, how many times have you woken up, just me or you or anyone, where you woke up and you didn't feel it that day? You weren't feeling it. Like, you're like, fuck, I don't have it today. Because I'm sure you've had those days. I've had those days, man.
Everybody has those days.
And you're like, man, this is just not going to be my day. And imagine you're a fighter where you're like one-on-one competition. Like, that's bad. And we wouldn't know that. So I do keep it in line, Matthias. Sometimes it's interesting, but like sometimes it works for and against. Like I've seen fighters like Jake Shields. His dad passed away and then he got knocked out by Jake Ellenberger. But like Damon Jackson's brother died and used that to win the fight against Pat Sabatini. So like every situation's different, you know?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Glenn, gotta get Marcel's top 5 pound for pound. Beautiful MMA women after his early comments. You talking about just fighters, Glenn, or are you talking about like anyone in the business? Like as far as that comment goes. Although I guess we shouldn't talk about you know. So like I know media, I wasn't gonna bring up media. I was thinking like ring card girls and stuff. That's what I was thinking. I didn't want you saying someone like some media members, you know what I mean? But as far as like fighters go, you have an answer for that? I mean, I don't think there's an issue with us saying
oh man,
I'm sure they'd like to hear that too, you know. What do you think?
There are so many I like, dude. I mean, we were talking about Amanda Ribas, you know, I really like her.
Yeah. You like her laugh, her cackle, huh?
Yeah, it's funny. And Natalia Silva. I mean,
okay, we know Mark. That's his love rate. That's true love.
I mean, there are so many. I mean, I have many more actually. What's her name again? BVB, Brianna Snowfortino, her name. I like her as well a lot. I always like Michelle Watterson.
I saw Michelle in Brazil when I was there, like hard in person. Like she is very attractive. I'll say that. That was 3 years ago, so. You know, I don't know what she looks like now, but I'm assuming she looks the same. She looked really good.
And there are many, man. I'm probably
her husband was with her, by the way, that boxing guy. He was with her, so no move. Not like it was going to matter anyways.
There are probably a lot of definitely a few Brazilians who are really looking good, man. I also really like the new girl from Alafede side, man. The Jackie Amorim, I think her name is. Yeah. I think she looks good as well. There are many, you know. I can name. I really have to think about it. I can name many out of the top of my head, but those are some I really like. So yeah,
good answer. I like that Vienna one that won a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I hate that tattoo on her chest, but I mean, she looks good. Mackenzie Dern's. I like Mackenzie Dern too. I mean,
Mackenzie's cool as well.
Yeah, I like her too. I mean, by the way, she's single. We talked about that a little bit. So sliding those DMs. No, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna do that. I would never do that, man. I would never do that. Not that I'd have a chance. I wouldn't have a chance in hell. Although you never know, you gotta take a shot. I just wouldn't do it like that. I never actually did that. I never like dropped into someone's DMs, so I don't think I've ever did that before.
Me neither.
I think, yeah. Anyways, it's a really good question. It's a funny question. Yeah, Helen Peralta lost. That's crazy at LFA. I don't know if you saw that, Marcel. I did see she lost. Or sorry, excuse me. Helen Peralta won. Aline Pereira lost. That's what I meant to say. Alex's sister, so
Yeah.
she lost. And Justin Wetzel he got knocked out by Rafael
Yeah.
Nascimento. That was a big upset. Actually, the odds were pretty high. He was like plus 300. I was looking at that fight, John. I was looking at the odds. I'm like, man, these odds seem really high. So I just obviously didn't. I didn't even touch that. LFA is. You can make money on LFA. You can, but you have to do. That's where you have to do your tape study, Marcel, for LFA, because I don't know these guys, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I only know because I do like the preview article, and then LFA retweets it for us from Oddsbreaker, which is cool. But because they used to, I don't know if they still do, but they used to say like the odds are from Nick Kalikas of MMA Oddsbreaker. They used to do that all the time, which is cool. Joe likes Jesse, Beck Rawlings, Rebus.
Oh, Jesse.
Durr,
She's like,
Bill. There's several more.
I mean,
we're all
Jesse
good, Joe.
is
We're
like,
guys and they're girls. I mean, it's normal. It's life, you know. So
I mean, Jesse is like, how do you say that? Super underrated. I think.
You've always liked her, Marcel. Marcel's told me
Yeah.
this for years. Yeah, I know you like her. And then what else we got here? Bro,
That's funny.
Bro, I already tried sliding the jersey. I got caught in a submission quick. LOL, I love her. So funny. I guarantee your DMs were full. Like, I mean,
And did you tap out or did you go to sleep?
she, if she ever like was looking for something, I don't think it would take long for her to find it. I'll just say that. I mean, like, I know looks aren't everything, Marcel. You know, but like the guy she was with, I was a little surprised by it the whole time. I gotta be honest with you. Like, and now they're divorced. So I mean, clearly it didn't work out. But I mean, it's just hard. They have a daughter together. It's hard, you know. She's like 30 years old, I want to say, you know, so she's a single mom now.
Yeah.
It's not easy, you know, Marcel. It's not, I know they're co-parenting those, so that's good. But just saying, I always thought she was out of that guy's league, and I hate to say that because I'm not that kind of guy who's like, this person's out of someone's league, because you never know, like,
yeah,
if someone finds you attractive, but that just never made sense to me. That's just all I'm saying. I don't know.
By the way, you know who's very underrated as well into looks? I think Horegi is as well, dude.
Yeah, she's good too, man. There's no doubt about it.
She's good looking, man. But she got that tomboyish kind of thing, you know what I mean? But she's really good looking, I think.
Yeah, there's tons, man. I mean, they're women, we're men. It's normal to think they're attractive. I like this discussion. It's funny. West Coast love me some Jesse Just. There's another fan. You got 3 fans here. I tapped because I wanted to grab whatever, get my hands on. That is so freaking funny. This guy's such a joker, man. What a freaking joker. That's so funny, bro. Yeah, she would break your arm in about 30 seconds, my friend. No, but in all seriousness, like, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I mean, like, there's a lot. All right, let's get to. I think we should get to. We got another Jesse Jess vote. All you guys, it's because you guys like the tattoos, I think, right? That must be it, eh? Like, it's got to be the tattoos, right? Like, I'm assuming.
Her face is very beautiful, I think, man. So, and she looks very good as well. Just body. So yeah.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. All right, comments. UFC fighters reconsider signing PFL is paying $1 million checks. I've been saying this for like 3 or 4 years now. I'm like, this is a great option if you're a middle of the tier fighter. Like, Antonio Carlos Jr., I think he won a tournament, right? Like, did he win?
Yeah.
I think maybe he won 1 or 2 now. He won 2. One. He was going to win 2 probably.
Last year.
Yeah. Rob Wilkinson got cut from the UFC. He just won $1 million. Let's go. We're going to get into the card.
Who would ever, listen, about all respect to Rob Wilkinson, but who would ever expect him to get $1 million at PFL? You know,
I mean, he won. Like, he looked great.
Great. Awesome.
Going into it, I mean, no.
I would have never picked him. No. Yeah.
I probably would have. I don't know. As crazy as it sounds, like, I really like that Josh Silveira guy, and he just didn't look good at all. You know, the prospect guy. And there was someone else I liked at light heavyweight too. Anyways, yeah, I mean, the guy won. All right, let's get into PFL. Go to the recap here, okay, Marcel? So we're going to go over PFL 2022. I previewed it by myself last week. I got most of the picks right, but to be fair, like, most of the favorites won.
Okay, screen share.
Yeah, I'm going to pull up right now.
Awesome.
So you watched the card. I watched every fight. I watched it all.
I've seen it, yeah. I didn't watch it live, gotta be honest. I think I watched the first 5 or 6 fight live, and I really couldn't grab myself together to watch a Krylov fight as a main event. So
let's just go from the bottom and start our way up, okay? Let's just do that. Let's do that. So first fight, Biagio Ali Walsh was an amateur fight. There was no odds. He knocked this dude out cold. I mean, he's got to go pro now, right? He's Muhammad Ali's grandson. He's got to turn pro, right? You think?
Yeah, why not? I mean, he knocked the guy out pretty quick in the fight. Good win, and it was supposed to win that fight. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, he's like they made that fight, Marcel, for him to knock the dude out. Like, Dakota Ditcheva knocks out Catherine Corgenis. I mean, she looked amazing. This girl's the real deal. I think she's the real deal, Marcel. She's going to be a star. Like, actually, she's one of my favorites right here, Marcel. This one. Yeah, I like her. She's such a good fighter too. Like, look at her record of 7-0 with 6 knockouts. I want to say, yeah, just brutal knockout power, good takedown defense. I mean, like this girl's going to be a contender for years to come. Surprised the UFC wasn't interested, but I guess maybe she was like, hey, I'm going to go to PFL and try to win $1 million instead. What do you think about her?
She looked good, what I saw, man. Gotta also say that the opponent wasn't that amazing, I think.
No,
But you know, I mean, it's rare to see women going 6-0 or 7-0 into MMA. You don't see it often. But yeah, looking forward what's next for her, man. I mean,
I like her.
she
Man.
looked good, but I mean, she won't have any tournament fights, because she fights at 125. So I don't know what they're gonna do with her.
I'm not sure either. That's a good question. I don't know if they're gonna. Maybe they'll do a new weight class or something. I don't think they're gonna. I mean, they shouldn't do lightweight again. They should do another weight class.
By the way, I think this girl was not impressed by her opponent, this Cork Janice. Look at her picture. If you look at it bigger, she's like, do I really have to fight this chick? Look.
Yeah, I know. She
She
was not impressive at all. She looked terrible in this fight. There's no future for her in PFL. No offense to her. I'm not trying to be mean, but she's going to be released. Magny Karod defeats Clayson Tebow. Marcel, honestly, not a very exciting fight. I think I don't know if they still train together at ATT. I'm pretty sure they do. They were like, it was basically a sparring match, and I mean, it was pretty obvious who's going to win, right?
Do you remember when these odds came out? That was like,
yeah.
There was a big.
It was the other way around. Yeah. I know there was people that were posting the screenshots. They had plus 450 on Magomed because the odds makers fucked up. I guess they put the odds the other way. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't cancel the bets, but I saw people with legitimate screenshots of that bet. So if you got plus 450 on Magomed Karov, you did pretty good. And then Nathan Schulte defeats Jeremy Stevens, submits him. I mean, Marcel, he completely destroyed him. The fight was a complete wash. George St. Pierre was commentating this fight, which was interesting. They had so many like legends on the broadcast: Couture, GSP, tons of people. Marcel, it was pretty cool. But yeah, I think this is it for Stevens, man. With maybe an MMA. Look at the record lately. Horrible. Look at this.
Jeremy can do Big UFC.
He should go to bare knuckle. That's the place for him. Yeah, it's not MMA. He needs to go to do something where he can strike with his opponents because his grappling is not good. He got taken down and just destroyed on the ground. The first round was 10-8. Second round would have been 10-8. I mean, it was just a beating. Here's a good pick I made, guys. I made a really good pick here. Shayman Moraes defeats Marlon Moraes by knockout. I picked it, Marcel, on the podcast.
It's a rematch, right?
It was the rematch. Most people were picking Marlon. And to be fair, he was winning the first 2 rounds, but again, that chin is just, it's gone. Did he retire? Did he leave the gloves in the cage? Because if not, he needs to retire immediately. Like, he can't fight anymore. Look at this, Marcel. Look at this.
And they wanted to give him Shane Burgos, dude. It's like,
bro, he would have got killed. Like, I mean, well, he did anyways. Bro, I mean, look, I know. Listen, guys, I get it. Look at the opponents he's fought. I get it. But like, Shane Moraes is not that good, and he got brutally knocked out by this guy. Like, it just touched his ear and he went cold. Like, it's scary. It's scary.
I was talking to Shane when he had to withdraw due to an injury, right? And I was like, dude, I got mad love for you, dude, but I'm honestly happy this fight is not happening. And he's like, why? And it's like, because I think he would have murdered Marlon Moraes, and I don't want to see that. And he's like, yeah, you're kind of right. I'm actually happy I don't have to fight Marlon because I don't want to hurt him that bad. He's a good dude. He was sad that he didn't get the fight. Don't get me wrong. He absolutely want to make his debut, but he knew as well that he would probably destroy Marlon in this fight. And I mean, I also didn't understand PFL. You sign a guy like Marlon Moraes and you sign Shane Burgos. You shouldn't match them against each other, and definitely not for a no anything fight. It
wasn't like a tournament fight either. Like, it was just a featured bout or whatever they call it. Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, I mean, but you think he should retire?
Who am I to say, right? But
I know who are we?
I mean, look at this
on our podcast, right? Like, that's all we are.
look at this record. That's the only thing I would say. Look at your own.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6 in the last 7 were knockouts, and he shouldn't have won this against Aldo. This was I was at this fight, Marcel, against Aldo in Vegas.
I agree.
He lost that fight.
I agree.
He should be on a 7-fight losing streak. Now it's crazy.
Talk to your coaches. Evaluate and look back at what happened so far and come to a conclusion. You know what I mean?
7 knockout losses.
And it's crazy, man. Since the Cejudo loss, it's looked so bad.
6 knockout losses. Earlier in his career, I think he got knocked out as well, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, yeah, it's not looking good for Marlon. Get a couple comments here, guys. 1 second. Go back to the main page. I don't know why anyone would want to join UFC first. I mean, that's usually the fighter's dream, right? But like, if it's about money and having a living, then PFL is a good option. OEM is barely top 15 lightweight, and now he's a millionaire. Yeah, it's true. Antidelia, for sure. We're going to get through those guys. Schulte looked good, John, for sure. Stevens' grounding was pathetic. I mean, and his opponent, honestly, I thought he was going to gas himself out, to be fair, Schulte. I thought he might have got... GSP's like, man, his arms might be exhausted now. And then immediately gets taken down, Marcel. Didn't even fight it, you know? Marlon should retire, I agree. No chin. It's scary. It's scary. Yeah, I do like betting against those guys too, Matthias. I agree. Jeremy Stevens made stupid money rematching Melvin Gordon BKFC. That makes sense. Melvin should never fight again. Actually, Melvin, you really shouldn't, but the fight makes sense. Melvin is a sad case though, like what he's been through. Like, he should never fight again. All right. Rob Wilkinson just destroyed our Marcel. This was an absolute beatdown. Doctor stopped the fight. The guy's face was so fucked up after the fight. Rob Wilkinson's a millionaire. Can you believe it?
Dude, Lely only lost his 2 UFC fights. He won every other fight he was in. It's
unreal.
Absolutely nuts. You know?
And
look at who he lost.
He lost to Izzy and he lost to CR. CR was a good fighter too back in the day. Lost to Izzy and gets cut. That's brutal. I mean, the guy's really good. There's no doubt. Would he be top 15 in the UFC? Probably not, let's be honest. But he's not in the UFC. He's in PFL and he had an amazing year. 4-0 with 4 knockouts. That's fucking awesome. Good for this dude, man.
By the way, look whose birthday is today. On the right side. No, down. There.
Oh, no way! Jesse's birthday, 35. That's great. That's great. That's like, that'll be my age next to you, Marcel. So make sure this guy's the same age as you. I'm joking. Let's go to the next one here. Saturday BC against Delano Taylor, wins the decision. Honestly, a boring fight. Delano Taylor just didn't pull the trigger. Like, you have $1 million fucking on the line. Do something, dude. He just stood there and got picked apart for 5 rounds.
Do you
smart game plan by he just did what he had to do, but like this dude did nothing. Go ahead.
Do you saw what he earned for that fight?
Second place. What did he get?
No, let me check. I saw it earlier today. Somebody posted it. Let me see. Here we go. So Sadi Boussi got 500K guaranteed and 500K win bonus, so he got the 1 million. Delano Taylor got 75K.
Yeah, that's not a lot. I mean, for
like he got the lowest paid on the whole card.
Now, to be fair, I mean that's about what we make in a year. So I mean, like a normal person or something with a decent job.
But it's kind of weird, you know.
With the fight in a cage. Yeah, I know.
If he got 75K guaranteed per, so that means if he actually would have won, he would have got 925K win bonus.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy. Yeah. That is fucking crazy. Sick fight. Austin seeing shit fight. Yeah, it was terrible. I like C though. I mean, the guy looked good, and he had a good run, right? He beat Rory and now Taylor. Livia Mercy defeats Steve Ray. I mean, this was an amazing knockout. They don't do bonuses in PFL. I mean, this would have been knockout of the night. Just insane. You know, Marcel, it wasn't looking good in that second round. Stevie Ray caught his back. He was going for the submissions. OEM got out of it and then clocked him good. Amazing knockout. 2 former training partners. I mean, we're not surprised he won, but the way he won surprised me. I'll tell you that. Go ahead.
I DM'd you the purses, by the way, and via Twitter, so you can see.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm happy for Olivier Aubin-Mercier. You know, I think I didn't agree with the cut back then by the UFC. I know he got some losses as well, but I always thought he was a decent fighter. I don't think he was going to be top 5 or something, you know. So he made a good choice to go to PFL, and he got the million, man. Amazing.
Okay, I see you're saying about the purses. So like he was the lowest guy in the main card. Now, to be fair, he filled in short notice, right? So
yeah.
I didn't know this though. I thought it was just a flat million. So they're saying some of these guys were like 500 and 500. Olivier and C and where did this come from, by the way? Where did you get this?
I don't know. Somebody
posted. Is it real? I don't even know if it's real. Is it real?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. I don't know if it's real. Sure. I can't trust it. Like MMA, that's the thing about MMA that's fucked. Is like in other sports, you know how much everyone's making, but in MMA it's like a secret. Like we can't tell you how much the fighters are actually making, which is stupid. Anyways, Aspen Ladd defeats Julia Budd. Marcel, she should have lost the fight. Julia Budd should have won this decision. I thought she won the second and third round. I really did. It was I wouldn't say a horrible fight. It wasn't that good though either. What are you gonna say?
I think it was close. Could go either way, man.
It was close. I thought Budd won. I really do.
Okay.
Yeah, because I thought the second round it came down to that and like the amount of damage she did in that round with the knees and stuff. And then third round, I mean, really, it was a close fight. It could have went either way, but it was a split decision, Marcel. And if you had money on this, you probably were sweating your ass off in this one. I'll guarantee that. But good, it's better for the sport and better for PFL than Aspen by one. I'll say that, right? It's better because let's be honest, Julie Budd is what, 40 now?
Yeah.
39, excuse me. I don't want to say she's still 40 yet. Gotta get it right, man. Fellow Canadian here. I remember watching her over 10 years ago in Strikeforce fighting Ronda Rousey. She's been around forever. I think she's at the end of the ropes. Aspen is still in her prime, If she can make weight, and I don't know, she didn't look great in this fight, but the striking is very sloppy. The grappling wasn't as dominant. The first round was dominant, and then after that, she couldn't get her down. So,
Matt, this is like the first time in a long time I saw Aspen led healthy on the scale.
Yeah.
I was happy for her.
145.
145.
I mean,
let's hope
she should never fight.
There.
I don't think she can even make 135 ever. No. I would guess. This was an easy pick, Marcel. Anti-Dillary.
Yeah.
He already knocked out Shuffle. Shuffle, the fact he even got the fight for $1 million is insane to me, considering. Remember last year, Azamat. By the way, who would have won, Azamat Mirzakhanov or Anti-Dillary? Who would you have picked?
Probably Azamat.
Same, right? So like that guy he's the guy who got screwed. He goes to the UFC. He's making what, 12? He's making 12 and 12, I think, right? I'm pretty sure Azamat. He got a bonus too, I think, in his last fight or whatever. But he could have won $1 million. I think he would have won this fight. Anti-Dillary is decent, but not amazing. He just beat a guy who's not very good here. Any other thoughts on that fight? Because
I think everybody expected Ante to win, and Ante was. Remember when he actually was supposed to fight Cyril Gane in the UFC?
Yeah,
and it didn't happen because PFL said we still have a contract with you.
Yep.
Damn, the dude is probably happy he had to stay with PFL now.
For sure, absolutely. Brendan Lofton defeats Bubba Jenkins, gets a knockout in the 4th round. It was a pretty good fight. Bubba Jenkins came to fight, tried his best, but just was not able to get his opponent down. On the feet, Lofton just picked him apart. Really like Brendan Lofton. Great story. He looked great. What are you going to say? Sorry?
I'm so happy for Brendan Lofton, man.
How could you not be?
Yeah.
Right? Like, he was the laughing stock of MMA because of Dana and his stupid comments about that fight.
Yeah.
He went for a takedown. He doesn't have the killer instinct. Like, fuck off. Like, the guy's really good. And actually, I think that most of his wins are by knockout. Now, since that fight against Bill Algeo, by the way, he's like, 500 fighters in the UFC. He is 8-1 in his last 9 fights.
Yeah.
Now,
one lost to move lead. Yeah, which is a bad loss.
I think the guy's good. And he had a UFC fight years ago. Remember this?
Yeah.
He was on Ultimate Fighter, the Smashes. He was on that show. Remember that, Marcel, the Smashes?
Yeah, the thing is, I remember that some of these guys leaked the results to home. These English guys. I think Bola did, Luke did, and he did. And I remember that Dana was super pissed about that.
Maybe that
had something to do. I don't know.
Because he had one fight and got cut, right? So
yeah. He's a good fighter, man. I'm happy for him, man. Very happy.
It's not bad at all. I mean, and again, the guys he's lost to through his career are not bad. Like Wilkinson, close decision. Norman Park, close decision. Tom Duquesnoy, who was like the best prospect at the time, split. Pat Healy, who's a grinder, split. And Movlet is split. The guy's good. UFC messed the ball on him. I mean, I don't think Dana. I'm not saying Dana's staying up at night thinking, "Oh man, what if we had this guy in the roster?" I don't think Dana's like that. He's such a proud guy. He would never admit he's wrong. But I think he was wrong. I think they should have signed him. So, and then finally, guys, let's go through the main event, and I'll get the questions after. Larissa Pacheco wins the United States over Kayla Harrison. I'm so glad the judges got it right. I'm going to say that right now because honestly, the odds were a pick 'em still. It was minus 115 each. They had it on the screen the whole time.
I don't think Candy and Randy picked Kayla to win, right? On the broadcast.
I was surprised by that. I think was it both of them that picked it, and just their stat thing picked. Okay, I don't know. They obviously are okay. I mean, how can you criticize Randy Couture and Kenny Flory? I mean, they're two legends, right? But do they not know that damage is the number one criteria? Because I think if you know it's damage, then how do you pick Harrison to win the fight? It was a close fight, Marcel. It came down to the 5th round, but Pacheco won the 5th round. Yes, Harrison had some positions, but it didn't matter. The amount of damage Pacheco was doing in those positions, even when she was on her back, throwing elbows up, going for submissions, like, dude, this was a breakthrough performance for this fighter.
You saw Ali trying to coach Kayla in the last round. What the hell?
Ali's a freaking moron. He said he was going to quit Twitter, I think he said, right? If she lost. Yeah. Hopefully he does. He's a fucking dick. Ali's not a very nice guy. I think we all know that. The way he screwed over my friends James and Cole with their interviews and stuff. It's not cool. Another journalist too. Anyways, Marcel, like, when you talk about pound for pound, Pacheco's got to be up there now, right? Like top 5 pound for pound, would you say?
in women's MMA.
Yeah,
I
in
don't
women's
know, man.
MMA,
It's
not
it's
in MMA, not in
yeah,
all of it.
it's weird. I never rated Pacheco very high in the UFC when she fought there. I
Yeah,
remember she lost to Jermaine the randomly
yeah,
and Jessica Andrade.
yeah.
So I never rated her that high, and she got the boot after that, which is kind of hard. I mean, Andrade and Durand.
I was gonna say, by the way, I remember. Okay, so the Durandamy fight, a lot of smart people. She actually was the favorite in that fight, so I remember betting her in that fight, and it was a horrible bet. She got destroyed. I was like, man, this girl sucks. Why would I put money on her? And then she missed 3 years, and now she's in PFL, and now she's amazing again, Marcel. So I'm like, okay, I guess I did have an initial thought that she was going to be good, but it took her a while to get there. But now she's there. 6 straight wins, man, and almost all by knockout. If she fought Harrison in a rematch, who would you pick? Sorry, in the fourth fight, I should say.
It's difficult, man, because Harrison can also improve. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's very difficult. I think it will be a close fight again, probably.
The problem with Kayla, she's 32 too. She's not young. She's not super young. She hasn't taken much damage, which she did in this fight. At the end of the fight, her face was mucked up. She took some damage. What are you gonna say?
Listen, man, Kayla's solid, but she's bothering me, man, with her comments about Cyborg. It's so stupid. I understand that she wants to try to lure Cyborg into a fight. You know what I mean, by calling her out. But you cannot really talk shit about somebody's opponents when your best opponent is Larissa Pacheco and she fought her 3 times. You know what I mean?
I know. I'm with you. I mean, a lot of her opponents were soft, man.
Yeah.
Caitlin Young,
Cindy Denbois.
I don't want to say she sucks because I don't think she does. It was a close fight.
Yeah.
But she I guess was a little bit overrated, I didn't really see this one coming, and I'll say that either. I didn't think Pacheco would win. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. The only thing I was saying is I was worried about was when the first 13 favorites on the card, whatever it was, won, and she was the last one. I'm thinking to myself, are all the favorites really going to win, Marcel? And I tell you this all the time. They never do. There's always an upset. It's so rare to have every favorite win. I just didn't think it'd be that fight. If you asked me who was going to win on that card as a dog, I wouldn't have been Pacheco. So I was going to say that. Let me get some comments, Marcel. I got a bunch here. Joe Duffy joined PFL. I think he retired. You should, but if he comes out of retirement, sure. John says PFL signed Dominic winning Ali Taleb. They're going to have bantamweights for the European Series. Yes, they're doing that next year. Matthias, I agree. Aspen should not have won. I knew she was going to live to high point in PFL. We thought she was. She's a decent fighter, but not great. Win. Lofton said Ariel, they get a guaranteed purchase of semifinals, then the finals. If you get the win, you get $1 million minus those purchases. Okay, so maybe it is real. That's interesting. So, answer this question. Okay, I see an answer. Do you guys think Kayla UFC's dead now? Yeah. Yeah, she'd have to I just don't think Dana's interested now. What do you think?
Yeah, the UFC is not going to pay her what she get paid in PFL, and definitely not after this not performance, but this loss. Her stock dropped. That's just that simple.
It did. It's actually hilarious. Someone posted a comment saying when I think it was was it the second round where Pacheco had the triangle choke or whatever it was? Because she had a really tight, or it was an armbar. Remember, she had some submission attempts too. Someone said when she got put in that triangle, it gave me memories of Fedor and Verdum and how Fedor's stock went plummeting after that fight. And I was thinking the same thing. It's scary, just that image of seeing them like that, getting in trouble, Because again, this is a fighter who was never in any trouble in her fights. What are you gonna say?
True, but at least Fedor was proven against better fighters.
Oh, for sure. I'm just saying, I know what the guy meant, but he said the stock, just the image of her and the stock dropping, because it's true. I'm from Virginia. The Bubba loss hurts. I know what you're saying, man, but don't take it personally. It's just a fighter at the end of the day. Khan would have done awful things to Delia, probably, for sure. Killer Bandweight Division, Borg, Dantes, Banderas, Valia, Boncharian, Gibson, Dodson, Katona, Dennis Lavrentiev. Is he an ACA guy or something?
Yeah, he's a teammate of, I think, he's a teammate of Piotr Jan, I think.
Oh, okay.
He got a win against... I think Nate Manus won against him and lost against him. He's a pretty good guy. He also fought Taylor Lapolis, I think. He's a really good guy.
That's good. Good stuff. All right. We get to some other questions, guys. Appreciate the questions, guys. Oh, you did meet him. Oh, that's cool. Funny guy, chill guy. That's cool. I get it now. I understand what you're saying now. So that's what Matthias is saying. He knows Bubba personally. So I get it. But at the end of the day, Matthias, you know, you got to separate your emotions from the fights happening. I know it's hard sometimes because trust me, there's some Canadian guys I love too, but at the end of the day, you know, I'm not the one in the cage. So happy with Larissa win. She looked great. Nuril Aliyev. I don't know. He looked great on Contender though. He destroyed that dude. Josh. What is his name? What's the guy's name? That soft looking guy. I gotta find his name though. Sorry. I hate when this happens because then I'm like, it's like stuck on my tongue. What's the dude's name? Josh Wick. That guy's not good.
Yeah. Got to give the guy he was a late replacement, right?
Oh yeah, we'll give him credit. That's true. He didn't have time to train. Big Marcel's repeat what I said. Love you, Marcel. There you go, Marcel. You got some love going on here. Not from Natalia Silva, but from our boy Matthias Moran. So Brazilian fans are spelled rich in me. It's true. How can PFL give $6 million checks? They have a lot of investors. There's no doubt about it. Yeah. But you're right. I mean, they definitely lost money, right? PFL definitely lost money. I don't think they made that much money. But, you know, as long as the fighters get paid, I'm cool with it. I don't really care. Like, I'll be honest, I don't care if the promotion's losing money. If they can handle it, if they can stomach it. I don't think they're losing as much as one championship, though. One championship is like bleeding cash every day. I think Nunes losing a pain and killing chance of Kayla coming to UFC. Probably. Victor Henry Lateyev won.
Good call. Yeah.
Good call. Good call. Very good call. All right. Let me close the PFL. Anything else for PFL? You're good.
No, okay. We're good, man. I think we're good.
All right. So we'll just go. We'll do some fight announcements really quick. Is that okay, Marcel? Do a couple of fight announcements?
For sure.
All right. Let's pull it up here.
Let's go. This
is good for Marcel too because he gets like free promotion of his Instagram page. Follow him on Instagram, by the way. Big Marcel 24. Right, Marcel? Instagram, Twitter. Oh, here's another question. The Lewis thing. I mean, they said it was an illness. I don't think it ever came out, and I don't think the fight's been rebooked. You have any idea?
Stomach illness or something, and he was cleared right after the event.
So. You're joking.
No. He was cleared right after the event. So that's probably why they waited so long, man, to announce it. They was hoping he got cleared. So because imagine had this happening on this upcoming card, he would have fought if he wanted to fight, because he would have been cleared at the main event time. So yeah.
No, I get it. All right, let's get into some fights here, Marcel. Some fight announcements. We got Ryan Spann taking on Nikita Krylov. Next February main event, 5 rounds. I don't think the fight will need 5 rounds, but they deserve it, right? Like this is Krylov's first main event. Is that right?
Yeah.
Well deserved. Well, he's put the time in, man. Is it a second?
He fought Anthony Smith in the main event, but
Krylov?
No.
Spann. Yeah, Spann. This is second. I'm saying Krylov is his first, right?
Yeah, I would think so, yeah.
I'm happy for Nikita. I really like him. This is a good fight. I think it's a good fight. You have any thoughts on this one? I mean, I don't see it going a distance. That's my guess.
It's a fun one, I mean, Spann is looking good lately. Nikita's looking good. Would be a fun fight, So what can we say yet? Not
Someone's
yet.
getting knocked out, right?
Break it down. Yeah.
Or submitted. Someone's getting finished. I'll say that right now. I think Spann might be favored here because the last fight was so dominant over Dominic Reyes, but Krylov's a better fighter than Dominic Reyes. What are you gonna say?
These comments are sometimes so funny to read, man.
I know. I always look at them too, putting my life savings. That's funny. Don't do that. I mean, you talk about favorite female fighters. I mean, how did we forget Tabitha Ricci? I mean, she's right there for me. I really like her too, Marcel. Jessica Penne, she's a veteran. She looked decent lately. This is a rebooking, right? They were supposed to fight a few months ago? Yeah. Tabitha wins. I mean, we already talked about this fight. I think we broke it down, didn't we? I think we broke it down.
We did, yeah.
Tabitha wins. You got to love Tabitha. Marcel.
Yeah, I saw that.
You kept it there. Baby Shark wins that fight. OSP versus Antonio Tricoli. So when you posted this, I can't remember. Okay, you weren't the one who broke it, but I remember when you posted it, I was like, man, I think I've heard of this guy. And then he was the guy that fought Contender, but he tested positive, right?
Yeah. So
he's back in the UFC. He's fighting OSP. It's a fight he could win. I'll say that right now. Sure. OSP would have. I think he would have beat Philippe Lins. I think it's probably a harder fight, and this guy's no experience in the UFC. I don't know. I got to think about it more. It's just I don't know if I could pick OSP unless he's fighting Shogun again. Like it's so hard to pick him now. Any thoughts quickly?
Yeah, but actually, this is much better than the other 2 fights. I wasn't happy to see Ovens improve against Gustafsson. OSP Lins didn't do it for me. But Tricoli guy, I know he got caught for illegal substances, but still, this is more interesting to me. He's a new guy coming into the UFC fighting OSP, and I like this a lot more, to be honest.
It makes sense. It's just the fight. OSP's a gatekeeper now, isn't he? That's sadly enough. Anthony Smith, Jamahal Hill. I love this fight. Amazing fight. That's a main event too.
Puna did as well, I see.
Pardon?
Puna did as well, I see.
There he is. I like Puna. He's a funny dude.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you not pick Jamahal Hill?
Yeah, it's a good fight. You know, it's a deserved fight for Jamal to get another main event. Anthony Smith, more established guy, but yeah, he lost his last fight right against Ankalaev. Hill is coming up. He won against Santos. Had more difficulties against Santos than I expected to be.
Yes, honest. I'll say that too. You're right. The grappling, right? If this fight goes to the ground, maybe it's interesting. But
it's a 5-rounder.
How do you pick Smith coming off the broken leg? How is he even coming back this soon? Chris Weidman's been out for like 2 years now, and Connor's been out for almost like 2 years. And Connor's apparently on. I mean, allegedly he's using banned substances. I don't know if you've seen that. You saw the thing. Like it looks like he's using something, and then he's allowed to for some reason. I don't know if that's true, but that's what it seems like. Everyone's suggesting that. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm surprised Anthony's coming back so soon. I think Jamal wins that fight. Gilbert, Brazil, Magny. I mean, Burns will be favored, but Magny's a boss. It's in Brazil. I mean, he should win this fight, right? Like, it's in Brazil.
Yeah, for sure. And I respect Magny so much. You know, he always asks for the difficult fights, and he always actually accepts these difficult fights if he gets them. You know, so good. And I'm happy for Burns, man. I talked to Burns right before this fight got announced. And he was like, the UFC promised me to fight in Rio, but they don't got opponent yet, but probably soon. And the day after he got Magny. So yeah, good for him, man.
Yep. MMAOB Daily versus Alessandro Costa. This is the guy who was on Contender and wanted to get signed, right? So
first week.
Almost everyone did everyone get signed now except for Dennis Bazooka? Just
Dennis Bazooka and Karolina Wojcik don't get signed.
She's boring, right? I think. Yeah, but Dennis, he just got a knockout win in Spectation Sports. He should get.
I don't know why. It's also weird, you know. He's teammates with Aljo and with Merab.
Dana doesn't like him for some reason. I don't know why though. It's pretty clear that Dana doesn't like, or the matchmakers don't. I mean, Amir's going to be a massive favorite in this fight, right?
Oh yeah,
Amir's a beast. I'm surprised they didn't just like be like, you know what, Amir, we're going to put you in like February or something. We're going to match you up with someone. Like instead. Maybe just it's like I want to fight. I want to get some money before Christmas. Maybe that's what it was.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't blame him. Umar, I don't think we talked about this one. Umar Nurmagomedov and Raoni Barcelos. I mean, amazing fight. I think you got to favor Umar at this point, but Barcelos did look great in his last fight, right? So
he did.
Man, a good fight, eh?
Yeah, he fought. He fought Trevin Jones. Yeah, he looked really good in that fight.
He did.
But man, Umar seems like the next big thing.
Look at his fucking last name. He's gonna win. Let's be honest. Jack Hermanson, Roman Dolidze.
This week.
About it. Yeah, we talked about it. Drew Dober, Bobby Green. Holy fuck, what a fight this is, man!
Yeah.
I mean, you got like the most granite chin in the UFC against the guy who's a really good boxer, but you know, Dober is so fucking tough, man. That fight with Terrence McKinney, Marcel, was just insane. Crazy. This fight's crazy. Someone said fight of the night? I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I lean Dober a little bit right now, to be honest with you, but Bobby Green's a good fighter. But
it's opening the main card on December 17th, so it's
such a great fight. So we got a couple weeks to talk about it. Awesome. William Knight, Marcin Pracho rebooking, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Rebooking. I mean, I don't really care about that fight, to be honest with you. Dan Ige, Damon Jackson. I don't think we talked about this fight, did we? We might have missed some fight announcements. Yeah, because I was away. I think Damon can win, but it's a step up. What do you think?
I agree with you, man. I think it's a deserved chance for Damon here, you know, and for Dan. Dan has to defend his spot in the rankings here against Damon. And I think it's a fun matchup. It's a good matchup. Dan is very good on the ground as well as is Damon, so it will be a fun fight, I think.
With you on that one, and just a couple more here. Haley Cowan and Aline Perez. Again, this is a week ago, but I was gone, right? So we missed a few. I don't know. I mean, this Perez girl was talking so much shit, saying she was going to beat Amanda Nunes, and then she got like destroyed in her debut, right? Like
by Stephanie Egger, yeah,
terrible. And then this Cowan girl, I don't think she looked good at all in Contender, but she's good looking, so Dana signed her.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I had to laugh when Dana said like, there is something about her. I don't know
dude,
what yeah.
She's a good-looking girl. Like
everybody knows what you mean, man.
I wasn't impressed at all, though. I gotta be honest. I thought she looked boring.
I was happy for Cohen, man. She has been looking good on the regional scene.
Yeah, and LFA. Yeah, you're right. I'm just saying I didn't like that performance.
Me neither.
But I think she got signed because of the previous body work and the fact they always need female fighters. We know that, right?
Yeah, always. Do you trust Dana when he says I never look at the fighters before? I also don't trust him.
I don't trust him at all with that. Cody Osborne, Dennis Bonder. I can't remember if we talked about this one. Did we? I can't remember. O'Day should win. He should be a big favorite in this fight.
O'Day.
I swear to God, we talked about some of these though. Dennis Toolin and Jungle Park.
I can't remember.
It's been 2 weeks. I don't know. We should probably end it here because it's been. Oh, maybe we didn't actually.
I don't think we did.
Park and Tulumin. That's next year. Oh, it's in. Yeah, I mean,
it's in Korea.
Park probably takes him down, I would guess, right? If it's on the feet, though, Tulumin could knock him out. He's got that power, so... They're
going to do also the 4 finals of the Road to...
are they doing that on that card in the Korea?
It's the first 4 prelims, yeah.
Awesome. David Dvorak might now Cop, right? Cop's got to be favored, right? Yeah. Jake Matthews, Semi the Jedi.
Sick fight as well. It's a prelim.
Sick fight, but, like, how do you not pick Jake Matthews after the last fight against Fialyu? Looked amazing. Like, it was Jake Matthews 2.0. That's what I would call him. Semmelsberger, I like him too, Marcel, but I do think he's shown some flaws in his fight, especially that fight with Morono, the last fight. You know, he landed that flying knee, but other than that, he kind of got picked apart. So, Puna, Soriano, Kopilov, someone's getting knocked out. This is a great fight.
Puna should win this, man.
Puna probably should be the rightful favorite, I would say. Yeah. Kai Kara France, Alex Perez. I don't know. This is such a weird fight.
I like this a lot.
How do we know what Perez is going to look like in the cage anymore? Like, do we have any idea? Like, the guy barely fights. When he does, he gets submitted in like a minute, and then otherwise he looks amazing. I don't know. I think you got to favor France though. It's in Australia. You'd have to favor him, right?
Yeah, probably.
I know you like Perez. I know you have a soft spot for the guy, but
but also I'm still not really convinced that Kai Kara France, dude. So for me, it's a lot close to 5.
I know it's coming off that loss. Well, you know, Tyson Ambrose. Oh, finally Bruno Silva comes back. You know, Bruno, I think, can win this fight. I'll say that right now. He's got to get back on track. He was on a nice little roll and then took some time off. That fight's canceled already. That's it. Oh, that's it. Yeah, we already talked about those ones. So that would be it for those fight announcements. Appreciate you guys listening to those. There's a couple of comments here. We'll go through these comments, guys. We'll answer these comments, and then if you guys have any last ones, take them in. It's almost 7 o'clock right now. I want to finish. I want to eat. Let me just get up here. Get these last couple comments. We'll get out of here, Marcel. Thoughts on Arjun Buller leaving UFC? I don't know. Leaving the UFC because of activity, but one just want. I know he wants to get traded back to one. I'm not sure. Krylov, Spann, fight doesn't go distance. Agreed. What do you think the opening odds will be for Hill versus Smith? Are they out yet? Let me check.
I would say Hill is a slight favorite.
Hill is a favorite. I think probably 2-1, maybe 3-1, but at least 2-1.
2-1, I would say.
Yeah, I love this fight. It's a great fight. Yeah, Smith could win. He could. I get to the ground. Opening odds for Dober Green. Drew Dober minus 140. Something really
like
close. Yeah, it's a very close fight. What's Haley Cowan's side job alongside MMA? I can't remember.
I don't know.
Probably has another job. I mean, how could these fighters survive when they're only fighting once a year and make 5,000 like a contender? And updated Bo Nichols' injury. I don't know. I thought didn't they rebook that fight already for March? Or
they want to rebook that fight for March, but it's never been confirmed yet.
The fight I called, by the way, in the podcast. Remember, I'm like, they gotta find somebody who could beat. Like, who's the worst fighter in the division? Jamie Pickett. No offense, Jamie. Any word on the rumored March 18th card? That's the rumor right now. They want to do it in, I think, England. Usman and Edwards. I mean, I know a lot of people were saying like an outdoor stadium. I just don't think Dana's going to do it. I think if they're going to do a stadium, it has to be with a roof.
I've heard about a fight for that card, and that should be a European fight. So I think we'll be in London. Yeah. But we'll see.
Thoughts on Tafa Porter? Porter should win. Porter's the better fider.
It's either a knockout for Tafa in the first round or Porter that wins the decision. Yeah, that's how I see it.
I agree with that. All right, a couple other comments. Yeah, there's two pay-per-views in March, right? Yeah. 2 weeks apart. So one is supposed to be
85 and 86.
One's supposed to be John Jones and Nagano. Wow, it's crazy. So next year will be 300 or the year after for UFC 300? 2024?
I don't know.
I think so, right? So we're at 270.
I haven't counted it.
Right, we're at 282 next month. So it'll be probably 10 next year. Okay, so it'll be UFC 300 will be in November 20.
Yeah, they
24?
can make the New York card, right?
Yeah, that's what it's going to be, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to stack it. They're going to put like 20 fights on it, probably 15 fights, and watch it put like 4 title fights on it. I wouldn't surprise me if they did like 4 title fights. They did 3 before. I think you guarantee 3.
And plus Jim Miller.
And Jim Miller's going to be on it because he fought 100 and 200.
Yeah.
Nico Petrovsky. Yeah, he called him out, but I don't think he went that fight. Slim Trebesli or whatever. I don't know. You heard anything about that?
Nothing. No update. No.
Ali screwed this guy's career up, apparently. I don't know. All right. Anyways, Marcel, I think we should just end it. I'm pretty good right now. UFC 300 Abu Dhabi. I don't think so. It'll be New York or Vegas. One of the two. I think it's a good time to end the show, man. I'm kind of talked out at this point, anyways.
Me too.
Let's just end it. Marcel, everyone in the chat, appreciate you guys actually asking the questions. Hamdi got injured. He was supposed to fight Parker Porter in Abu Dhabi and got injured, so I don't know what's up with him. Anyways, let's just answer that last question. Let's get out of here, Marcel. It's 7. Let's go.
Big Marcel 24 on Twitter and Instagram. MMA. I almost said MMA DNA. Eurosport.nl mixed martial arts section.
Follow me on Twitter at MMAOB Podcast, MMAOB.com. Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about it. Bokies.com got my best bets coming out. MMAOB.com for all your fight news and fight odds, and then my MMA news for some news. Yeah, guys, I mean, appreciate you guys joining us today again. Always enjoy Mondays here. Marcel will be back next Monday. We'll be recapping UFC Orlando, and we'll preview UFC 282, I believe, right?
Yeah,
crazy. It's coming up very soon, guys. So a lot of news there. Did we even talk about the Yuri thing? I don't even know if we even talked about it.
No, we haven't actually.
Which is crazy. Okay, so very, very, very last thing, because I just want to mention this quickly. Such a shitty situation all around. That fight between Yuri and Glover, to me, is one of the greatest fights of all time. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind it's one of the best fights I've ever seen. Damn shame we're not going to see the rematch. It's a damn shame that Glover is not taking the title fight, but I understand it from his perspective not to fight Magomed on short notice. Magomed should be a big favorite to beat Jan. I think the odds are out for that fight. He's minus 240, or it's Jan Blachowicz. He should win that fight. That's the only thing I'll say. Jan, I think, is getting a little bit, honestly, gifted title shot here because his last fight was an injury. He got submitted before that. It's kind of fucked up that Glover, who's now that Yuri's out for the year and a half or whatever, Glover's the number one guy in the world right now, in the rankings, but he's not getting the title shot. It's kind of weird, but at the same time, UFC, they wanted that fight, Marcel, so he didn't get it. Any quick thoughts on the situation before we get out of here?
Yeah, man. I mean, they offered Glover to fight Ankalaev, and Glover asked to fight Blachowicz, and the UFC said, we saw that fight. We want to see you against Ankalaev. Then he asked for Rio, but UFC needed this fight for Las Vegas, There was no other title fight on, and let's be honest, that card isn't that stacked, if you have Paddy as the co-main event. So, yeah, I understand where the UFC is coming from. It sucks for Glover, But my question is, would you have enough time to prepare for Ankalaev if you fought him in January than you fought him in December? You know what I mean?
Yep.
I don't think so, And if you're willing to take Blachowicz, but you're not willing to take Ankalaev, it kind of tells me that you don't want to fight Ankalaev, actually. That's what I think. But no disrespect to Glover, I respect him a lot. But that's how I think. I think not many people want to say that because they really like Glover. But I feel that way, I mean, if you can take a fight against Jan, if you can take a fight against Yuri, why wouldn't you take a fight against Ankalaev? You know what I mean? I mean, that pretty much tells me that Glover thinks that Ankalaev is the best guy in the division. That's how I see it, But yeah, I don't know. It sucks overall, but man, it's like how do you say that? I always said Ankalaev will be champion, and he will become quicker champion than I expected. So yeah.
Feel bad for the people that had the Yuri be the champion by the end of the 2022 tickets. That's an awful bad beat, as far as bets go, because a month away. And there's no guarantee he would have won the fight with Glover, but still, I mean, it's kind of a bad beat. All right, Marcel, let's get out of here. Appreciate you guys. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.